At the dawn of the 16th century, one kingdom, forged in holy war and funded by the treasures of a new world, would rise to become the most powerful force on Earth. Its territories were so vast, spanning every continent known to Europeans, that it was called the empire on which the sun never set. This is the story of the first global superpower. This is the full story of the Spanish Empire. The Spanish Empire was born from the voyages of Columbus and built by the swords of the conquistadors. The brutal conquests of the Aztec and Inca empires delivered a staggering amount of gold and silver into the hands of the Spanish crown. Mines like Potosi in modern-day Bolivia became mountains of silver, funding Spain's ambitions. A vast colonial empire was established in the Americas, ruled by viceroys and built on the labor of the native population. From this new world, massive treasure fleets, guarded by warships called galleons, would carry the wealth of the Americas back to Spain each year. Under the devout and formidable King Philip II, the Spanish Empire reached the peak of its power. Philip saw himself as the defender of Catholic Christendom, and he used the endless silver of the Americas to fund his holy wars. His greatest triumph came at the Battle of Lepanto in 1571, where a coalition of Catholic states led by Spain annihilated the Ottoman fleet, shattering the myth of Ottoman invincibility at sea. This was Spain's golden age. Its culture flourished, its armies were the most feared in Europe, and its global empire was the envy of the world. But the empire was stretched too thin. Philip's attempt to crush the Protestant rebellion in the Netherlands became a costly, decades-long quagmire. His greatest disaster came in 1588, when he launched a massive fleet, the Spanish Armada, to invade Protestant England. It was annihilated by a combination of smaller, faster English ships and a ferocious storm. The defeat of the Armada was a devastating blow. Spain's wealth was squandered on endless European wars, its economy crippled by inflation. Over the next 2 centuries, the empire entered a long, slow decline. Rival powers like England, France, and the Dutch chipped away at its dominance. Finally, in the early 1800s, inspired by revolutionary ideas, its American colonies rose up in rebellion and won their independence. The empire on which the sun never set had finally entered its twilight. For 300 years, the Spanish Empire dominated the globe. Its legacy is immense and complex, a story of brutal conquest and zealous faith that left behind a common language and religion for hundreds of millions of people. But the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588 marked a pivotal shift in the world order. It signaled the rise of a new kind of power, a Protestant, seafaring nation of merchants, pirates, and privateers, ruled by a formidable queen who was ready to challenge Spain for control of the seas.